the reserves, who are without clean drinking water, who are without food, who are in unstable homes. I think about them. I pray for you. I hope you get the love and support you deserve. I wish I could do more, but there's only so much I can do now. But I hope that speaking here today and seeing your faces here, that these issues will be spoken about. That we're not just going to sit by and idly let people like Harper and Trudeau continue to put the blanket over us. We are not going to let that happen. I am not going to let that happen. We deserve validation. We deserve support. We deserve love. We deserve all of that. I'm also here today for my family, for my grandmother and my father, who I love very, very much, and who I hope can find the peace in life that they deserve. And I am sad that they could not live the life that they actually deserve, but my dad now, he still continues to live on, and I love him very much. And today I call for action, I call for education, I call for support, I call for all of you to keep Indigenous youth, Indigenous people in your prayers. The Indigenous youth that are struggling to stay alive, the Indigenous elders and ancestors that are struggling to share, the struggling Indigenous adults having a hard time with this trauma, intergenerational trauma. It's a very real thing. It is a very real thing. I have gone through it my whole life. My father, my grandfather, my grandmother. It is a thing that happens. And we need to recognize that. And honestly, there was this horrible idea of integrating Native kids and Native people into society so that they would become invisible. I don't know if any of you know the quote, "Kill the Indian, save the man," or "We need to get rid of the Indian and the child." It absolutely broke me to learn about that in school. That such a government and such people would force Indigenous people, they would force them to go into these environments. They would force them to give up everything and either assimilate completely or just face the horrible, unforgivable consequences. It disgusts me that people my age, I am shocked to know that people my age don't know a goddamn thing. A lot of them don't. They don't know about this stuff. They don't know about treaties. They don't know about what's happened to us, the removal policies. I got lucky in the sense that I could learn about all of this, but also still be very modern. I hope that if you are in state university, or if you're in school, or if you're in your job, or if you're in anything, that you can take the time to learn about this properly and talk to those who may have some ignorant views, who may have those differences, and try and tell them that Native people, Indigenous people, we matter, we're here, and that these issues need to be addressed, and we need to end the systemic racism. Now, in terms of my home life, well, I am not going to say it was completely perfect, but it was a good home life. And I'm so sad to say that also there are a lot of youth that I knew growing up that didn't have that. There were a lot of youth I knew that were going through so much at home. And if you are one of those youth right now, Indigenous, I pray for you and I love you. And to my friends, to people who I know, you should be hearing my voice. Don't just post this on Instagram. Don't just share this on your story. Don't just post this on Twitter. Listen to our voices. Listen to what we're saying. Let it sink into your mind that this is a real story, that we are real stories, that we are real people, that we are not just your romanticized versions, that we're not just some, ideal group to worship. We're people, and we have traditions, and we have values. And if you care about me as a friend, as a sister, as anybody, you will respect that, and you will respect those that come before you. You will respect our elders. You will respect those communities, even though you feel you can't relate. Now, I am so proud and I'm so thankful to all of the people that have come out today. Thank you to the organizers. You guys are doing an amazing job. I cannot believe, I'm really grateful to be able to speak today. I honestly woke up this morning and I thought, am I the right person for the job? Because I've felt such a disconnect for so many years that it's not my place. That because I grew up a bit differently, because I had a bit more of what I needed, that it wasn't my place to speak on this. Well, I'm here to speak for those that maybe are in the same situation, and for those that don't have a voice. For those youth right now that don't have a voice, I will be your voice. I'm going to speak now for you, and I hope that you can find your voice one day, and that the government can address these issues and actually make some change, not just apologize. Not just say, oh, we're going to do it, and then don't do it at all. I'm actually sick of these apologies and these congratulatory land acknowledgements. If you're gonna acknowledge the land, you also gotta say land back. You gotta acknowledge that we deserve our land back, we deserve our rights, we deserve our sovereignty, and that if you're gonna tell us, oh, we're standing on your land, that you're actually gonna try and defend it, and that you're gonna try and give it back, and you're not just gonna say, oh yeah, we're just on stolen land. Yeah, you are on stolen land. This is stolen land. This is indigenous land. This is native land. And that people have stolen it, and they have tried to erase us from the narrative. I'm not gonna erase myself from the narrative. I wanted to, for years. Erase myself completely. Ashamed, horrified, scared. I am here in this narrative. We are here in this narrative. And that we are going to fight for change. And that you cannot ignore us anymore. I am going to continue to be a free spirit, a dreamer. I'm going to continue to live my life the way I want to live it. I'm going to keep my dual identity. I'm going to embrace my differences. And I'm going to listen, and I'm going to love. Thank you to all of you for coming out today and for listening to us and for supporting us. Thank you for taking the time out of your days to hear my voice, hear our voices. I'm going to just say one final prayer for those who are struggling right now. I'm going to say one final prayer for those who may not be able to hear me right now, for those who feel like it's all over, that their life is worth